A naive college student's in for a surprise as he spends a week at his girlfriend's house, unaware of how bizarre each family member can get. A flight attendant announces that the aircraft is starting its final descent to Quebec City Airport. Sitting at the back of the plane, a young college student named Michael writes his thoughts in his journal. As he relives his memories of his girlfriend at the beach, he says he used to like many girls before but eventually fell for Gabby. Unfortunately, she abruptly left college mid-semester to care for her sick grandmother, but she didn't even say goodbye to him, so he didn't know where their relationship stood. Just as the young man lost hope that they'd still see each other, she unexpectedly invited him to their house for Christmas. Thinking of fixing their relationship and finally meeting her family, Michael excitedly looks forward to the upcoming week as the plane arrives at its destination. At the airport, a group of workers puts up a mural of the Three Graces painting as Michael walks and stops in front of the wall. Setting his bags down, he patiently waits for the vacation host to pick him up. Hours pass, people in the airport thin out, and the workers even finish their wall work, but the young man still waits alone. Finally, Gabby arrives at the airport and smiles as she sees her guest from afar. Meanwhile, Michael looks down, exhausted and sadly disappointed, just as the young woman covers his eyes from behind and playfully asks him to guess who. He happily says Gabby's name, and the two kiss tenderly before heading outside. Moments later, the two arrive at Gabby's huge French mansion. She mentions they're having issues with the lights, so the candles are the only source of light inside. They then celebrate the reunion with a passionate kiss, but her mother, Mrs. D'Arc, catches them in the act. With a disapproving look, the woman greets Michael as her daughter formally introduces the visitor. Suddenly, their dog, Beowulf, barks at the new face, so Gabby introduces him to the guest. However, the young woman's sister calls for her in the kitchen, so she leaves the guest with her mother. Using candles, Mrs. D'Arc guides the visitor through the dark hallway. As they walk to the kitchen, they hear a man singing, and the woman tells him it's her husband cooking their dinner. Surprised by the unusual scene, Michael's taken aback when he sees Mr. D'Arc, who's only wearing a towel from the waist down. Gabby then kisses her father's cheek before introducing the young man to him. At the dining table, Father Walter prays alone silently, but the patriarch mocks him, quoting a famous physicist named Blaise Pascal as he finds the religious act pointless. Annoyed, the priest looks at him disdainfully as Mrs. D'Arc sits across from him. As the three sisters join them at the table, Gabby shares that their father is writing a book about the said physicist. However, he claims that he can only work without his clothes on. Giggling, her youngest sister, Simone, tells the visitor that their father is an atheist. Their mother, a devout Catholic, scolds her, saying she shouldn't joke about beliefs, especially in front of a priest. Father Walter then agrees, stating that her lack of respect doesn't surprise him as her father also mocked his faith earlier. Unbothered